What's going on, guys? Bankrobber Games here, more Elden Ring and the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. Last episode when we left off, we carried on making our way through Elden Ring, this area, and yeah, it was really cool. Quite a challenging area, but not actually too many enemies. But during the episode we also did like a really well hidden secret platforming, difficult platforming section that got us the weapon we have in our hands now, being the Euphoria. And I was really enjoying using our sunflower weapon that you would have seen last episode, but I did have a bit of a look online and it seems like the Euphoria is potentially quite overpowered with the weapon skill. I was just curious with the fact that it's a self-buffing weapon. Obviously it'll take us a bit of practice to get the full use out of it, but because the damage of the weapon, a lot of it comes from the weapon skill, we have got the Shard of Alexander to boost our weapon damage of the skill, reduce the FP consumed by the skill, increase our general damage with our successive attacks, considering it is a twin blade, should work pretty well for us, along with successive attacks restore HP. But I do really recommend going back and watching last episode if you haven't seen it, because it was really cool and you'll be able to see how we got this weapon as well. But this episode we're just going to go back to where we lost our souls, or our runes rather. So that's the regular weapon arm without the buff active. It's basically just a slightly better version of spinning weapon, I guess. Technically the weapon should start glowing when we land successive hits, which I'm not seeing so far. Did get a spirit summon there. But yeah, from what I saw online, as you get the weapon buff and then use the weapon art, it improves it by like quite a big amount. The statues everywhere are very creepy. Same guy that took us out last time. At least it's only a short run back to him, but I'll meet you guys back here. Right, that took me far too many attempts to do, and we did actually lose our runes because I did get taken out by the birds in one of our trackbacks, but you can see our weapon is glowing, and if we activate our weapon skill, we've got a much stronger version of it, which I think is really, really cool. Some stone. That's pretty cool. Pretty interesting effects there of empowering spells which summon rings of spectral light. Potentially very useful. So we did hit the second level of buff there. There was like a little noise and the weapon glowed even brighter. Fortunately, we're just a little bit too aggressive. I don't really have any idea of how to get back up there. Yeah, there's a shorter way. I'll just meet you guys back up top. I really hate those guys. It's got a somber ancient dragon smithing stone. But other than that, it doesn't look like there's much down here. I have to say, it's a very cool looking weapon. I was really hoping we wouldn't run into another one of these guys. The fact that he's seen us from all the way over there is a bit mad. That was a really good first attempt. I do wish there was a shortcut or a site of grace here. Looks like I'll meet you guys back up there. So thankfully we did manage to take that guy down our next attempt. Thankfully. I really don't like facing those guys. Pretty cool weapon there. Imagine it's good for taking out groups. Obviously we've only just put on the Euphoria, so we'll worry about using that a bit more before testing anything else out. Finally, a sight of grace. Another shadow tree fragment. Looks like we've got our shadow tree blessing up to level 20, which I assume is the highest level. Looks like it's given us some pretty substantial buffs.
The Erdtree was leading you all along, so that you might ascend to lordship. Why come to these lands to begin with? I suppose it must be what His Eminence, or perhaps the Erdtree, desired all along. The clashing of the favored lords, such that one would prevail. So be it. If you insist upon facing Miquilla the Kind, then I will run you through whoever you might be. Don't tarry now.
That wasn't a very nice message to receive, but I guess it makes sense, seeing as they've sort of remained loyal to Miquilla.
Don't you dare approach Miquilla the Kind. Needle Knight's leader, Dryleaf Dane, and our allies will never allow this.
I am the Red Mane Freya. The time has come.
I could not think you a worthy foe. This is our reunion. Let's make it something to remember.
That's a pretty cool shield.
I am Aslan of the Pure Blood Knights. I stand with blade aloft, blood afire, for the dignity of my lord and master. And I, fighting tragedy this is righteous time. It appears that our interests
Nice finish there with the Euphoria Vortex weapon art. Definitely looks like if you get that second charge, it increases the damage by a ridiculous amount, which is absolutely awesome. Would be a cool little fight to do with your friends, I think. That little interaction. Looks like we got Leader's sword. It's another light great sword. So it's those pierced by the unique skill are purged of all ailments and special effects alike. So potentially you could debuff people if they give themselves a buff. Not sure how the damage compares to Milady. Looks pretty good for a level 1 weapon, but I do assume it's going to be another somber weapon. So, depend quite a lot on how it improves as you upgrade it, I think. Got Moore's armour and his bell bearing. Doesn't seem to have any special effect though. Sounds like a pretty cheesy weapon. Says it doesn't do much damage, just more knockback. Freya's great sword and armour. Very cool. Doesn't look like it has any effect again. Looks like it does a lot of damage. Freya's greatsword. Curved greatsword. Can't really remember moveset on curved greatswords. Just has got the spinning slash ash of war. Looks pretty cool though. And then we've got Dane's footwork. So it looks like it's just dry leaf arts, but you kick rather than punch mainly. Not the highest base damage, but the scaling on it looks ridiculous. So probably quite good after upgrading it. Looks pretty cool. Does say it slightly strengthens attacks following a dodge roll or backstep, as well as a dash attack. Potentially quite useful. But looking at that interaction, I get a feeling we're definitely heading towards the end of the DLC.
Righteous tarnished. That was an astounding battle, to be sure. Now I suppose this leaves only one. But in truth, I cannot calm my quivering. Challenging a god is no small matter. I'm afraid I underestimated the lad. Appearing frail in both body and mind, I presumed he'd be like to stumble upon the field of battle. What a fool I was. He serves another master, but Setiolier performed magnificently. Perhaps he too quivers with anticipation, as do we. Oh. Something you want to get off your chest? Well, you needn't worry. It was you, wasn't it? Who defeated Lord Moog. Fear not. I bear no grudge against you. His Eminence was felled in an honorable duel. And such are the risks of seeking lordship. Besides, what right have I to complain? I blame the enchantment more than anything. Righteous tarnished, we will have our victory. I swear upon my blood.
Out of everyone, I was expecting to fight this guy, but it seems like he's actually alright with us taking on his Lord Moog. Really cool boss fight from the main game. Obviously, you have to do it to access the DLC. But yeah, I definitely get the feeling that this is the ending boss up here. Be awesome if we got it first try, but I very much doubt it because it's not been a great day today. The amount of times I've died making my way here. Looks like we can summon Ans back again, along with Theolier again. I know it'll make the fight harder, but may as well, just in case we get any extra awards for doing it.
My loyal blade and champion of the festival. Both your deeds will ever be praised in song. Now, the vow will be honored, and my lord brother's soul will return, so that he may be my consort.
Looks like we're facing Radahn here again, but like in his prime. Boss music's absolutely awesome. That was cool. Looks like he's poisoned for us. Looks like we got a bleed proc from Ansbach, along with entering a second phase here. Really, really cool. Happy with the first attempt so far, but I feel like I'm speaking a bit soon to say that.
Lord brother. At long last you are returned. Tarnished one. Aspiring lord of the old order. If you have known sin, if you grieve for this world, then yield the path forward to us. To I, Miquilla, and my promised consort, Radahn.
No idea why I can't attack him. Unless he's got like a grab attack. Oh. Definitely a tough fight if you just look at the damage numbers at the back at the bottom of the screen and how much his health is going down by. It's yeah, a bit mad. But looking at how long this episode has been, and with guessing that this is the final boss, I am just going to cut to whatever attempt is the one that we beat him. So yeah, I'll meet you guys on the other side of that. Okay. I think I need a minute. Yeah. I think I need a minute. I'm just going to rest at the site of grace. Right, I'm back. So, that was a tough fight. It took me, I'm not even joking, probably about 250 attempts. I've lost track. It's taken me several hours to take this guy down. You might notice we switched back to the sunflower. The Euphoria, although it's an awesome weapon, it just wasn't working really for us. Wherever it is, I don't even know where it is. Yeah, it's really, really cool. And the Ash of War, if you manage to fully charge the weapon, just did a solid several thousand damage to Radahn. Little bit disappointed that the Mimic stole our kill there, but to be honest, I've been at this so long, I'm just glad to get it over and done with. Did get quite a few items though. So we got a incantation. And it's a multi/blood flame incantation. Should be pretty cool, pretty powerful. The blood flame spells are quite fun to use. Scythe here that does pretty decent damage. The blood loss build up isn't amazing, but I imagine with the arcane scaling that would improve if our arcane was higher. And interesting Ash of War there, probably quite useful in PvP. Got Unspark Armor. Says it increases or enhances Blood Oath and dynastic skills. And Thiolier's armor increases arcane. Got a sleep weapon. It's a fist weapon. And looks like you can sleep an enemy and then hit them with the Ash of War again, and it'll do a lot of damage. And then we did get Remembrance of Radahn. And it sounds like Radahn and Miquilla were quite close, which is obviously why they picked him to be their consort. You might notice as well we didn't summon Thiolier or Arnspark for the fight, and that's because I got tired of it taking so long to re-enter the arena, so I didn't summon them. And I did then notice that his health seems to scale a lot more than other bosses when you summon in partners, co-op partners. So yeah, I actually found it much easier and much more consistent getting to the second phase while facing him by myself than with the co-op summons.
Lord brother, I'm going to be a god. If we honor our part of the vow, promise me you'll be my consort. I'll make the world a gentler place.
Not entirely sure what that means, but I'm guessing it's something along the lines of Miquilla giving up his flesh means that he could then contact Radahn and bring him back to then start a new age, similar to how we do in the main game. Yeah, it says this circuit was to be the very foundation upon which Miquilla's Age of Compassion would be built, should it ever have come to pass. So yeah, I'm guessing that might be the case. Not entirely sure. But Miquilla definitely isn't as kind as, you know, she's sort of made out to be. Doesn't look like we can get up there. It's obviously where the opening shot of the trailer was. Again, I'm not sure on the significance, but if you guys know more about the lore, please let me know down in the comments below so we can make a bit more sense of it. I've yet to watch Varty's videos on the Elden Ring lore, so I should probably get around to doing that. Yeah, that seems to be everything from the DLC. I'm going to have a talk to Cintrina just because that is like the other half of Miquilla. And also, obviously, we had Theolia in the boss fight. Quite interesting. And it looks like the face of Miquilla has gone. So now there's just a plant that remains. And then we'll see what Radahn's, or Consort Radahn's remembrance gives us. So we've got identical swords here, just with different ashes of war. Quite interesting. And then we've got an incantation here saying, annihilates foes with pillars of light. I'd hope so. considering what it did to us. Yeah, very interesting. We haven't got enough faith to wield it. 72. I think that's the highest stat requirement of anything in the game, and the FP cost is quite high at 48. So I definitely hope that it was very powerful. But I'm guessing that is the end of the DLC. Yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about the DLC. Overall, I did think it was very, very fun, offered a good challenge. I think some of the DLC and some of the enemies were a little bit overtuned, like Radahn at the end there. The guys with the 2 backhand circs, I think they're called, I think that was they were a bit overtuned, just spamming attacks. I think that's the case with quite a lot of a few enemies throughout the DLC, which I think is a bit of a shame. Overall though, it was very, very fun. I think the just the sheer size of it is brilliant. I do think the Jagged Peak was a bit disappointingly short. I would have liked another sort of dragon themed area like Crumbling Farum Azula, with perhaps some more unique enemies there, and more people that had fallen victim to Dragon Communion, maybe. Overall, the dungeons were a lot better in the DLC. They're a lot more sort of focused and varied at the same time, whereas in the main game they're a little bit copy and paste. So I think that's a big improvement over the main game. I do think I wish there was a few more of them, because once you got to sort of the Shadow Keep, there wasn't really any other dungeons left to complete. There's no hidden dungeons over here on these islands. There's only the Scorpion River Catacombs. Would have been quite cool if there was another one hidden down in the Abyssal Woods as well, unless I'm missing something. And there wasn't really anything over here. It was nice running into another Falling Star Beast over here and taking them out. That was a fun fight. I didn't like taking them on in the main game, but that one I actually quite enjoyed taking out. I think it was just because it was a bit more of an open area. I like the fact that there was a lot of secrets hidden in the DLC, and yeah, the Elden Ring community leaving the notes the way they do has been really fantastic and a big help in that regard. Overall though, I think with the DLC it is a little bit of a shame, because in comparison to the old Hunters DLC in Bloodborne, or the Ashes of Ariandel DLC in Dark Souls 3, they sort of fundamentally changed your playthrough, because there would be an item or something that you could get in the DLC relatively early, that would again fundamentally change your playthrough and your character build. You'd purposely set out for that item, where the DLCs were able to be started nearer the start of the game. I think the unfortunate thing with the DLC having to be started so late in the game, because you have to defeat Moog, who's a very challenging boss, it makes it potentially less valuable or have less influence on your character build. But then I guess it provides more items to head into for New Game Plus, considering it is sort of towards the end of your playthrough. But I just think personally I prefer the DLC, or at least there being some DLC that you can take part in earlier on, because then that way it can sort of fundamentally change your playthrough of the game. And Elden Ring is such a big game that if you want to experience it quite fully, it does take a long time to get through. So again, I don't think it mixes up your playthrough all that often, because each playthrough is so long that by the time you get to New Game Plus, you've already got a well-established character. So items in the DLC don't really fundamentally change your character and build. But it does give you more toys to play with, so that's always a good thing, and I'll never say no to that. I'm a little bit disappointed by the spell and incantation selection. Normally they hide some goodies in the DLC, along with the weapons. I think other than the Poria, again I can never find the twin blades, here we are, that was incredibly unique and a really awesome weapon, and something that I definitely want to experiment more with. And maybe the Smith script weapons, but they're not very powerful. The majority of it, although they're very, very cool and very, very fun, it's all sort of stuff that we've seen in the main game. There's nothing that's like really revolutionary, again, to your playthrough. And to, you know, the Euphoria is the main standout, but because it was, you know, you get it so late in the DLC, again, it doesn't really change your playthrough of it. So I think it's a bit of a wasted opportunity. But overall, it's, you know, it was really, really fun. It's more Elden Ring. I think that's the problem in a way, though. Previous DLCs for previous Soulsborne games actually had a big effect on your playthrough, rather than just being more content. I think this comes across a little bit as just more content to complete. You know, you like Elden Ring, here's more of it, which I think is a bit of a shame. But at the same time, I love my playthrough of Elden Ring. I want to do more playthroughs of Elden Ring, and I'm always happy to receive more of it. So, you know, I'd probably say it's an 8 out of 10 for me personally. But very enjoyable experience, just marred slightly by a couple of aspects. But you guys might have a slightly different experience to me, so let me know down in the comments below. But that is pretty much everything I've got to say about the DLC, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the playthrough of it, and hopefully you guys can get some enjoyment out of the DLC as well. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the series. If you have enjoyed the series, make sure to like and subscribe for more, and that way you won't miss out on anything, because I am thinking of maybe doing a couple of convergence runs in the future if we get the time and there's a bit of a gap of things to play, or things that I want to cover. So make sure to subscribe for that. But thanks again for watching. I always appreciate having you guys here, and I'll catch you guys in the next series.